If you want to stop the war within and connect with your inherent tenderness and compassion, then you're in the right place. Hello, I'm Melissa, and this is Yoga with Melissa. Real yoga for real people, so you can move better, feel better, and connect with your true nature. In a culture that wants us to do more, be more, and consume more, this is deeply transformational hatha yoga, where we bring awareness and self-acceptance to ourselves, our relationships, and the earth we inhabit. I put out a new 1-hour yoga class every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single class. Like the class and let me know in the comments what you liked about it. If you are feeling anxious and overwhelmed today and you find the spoken teachings too much, feel free to press the mute button and follow along visually until you're feeling less overwhelmed. Today we are going to focus on how there is subtle and not so subtle aggression internally and how our yoga practice can loosen this grip. I'm going to give you part of the teachings today on letting go of aggression. Because of the feedback I've received on these classes, I'm trying to keep them as minimalist as possible. So if you want to receive the full teachings and the full class, be sure you stay tuned all the way to the end and I will tell you how you can get that. I have a testimonial for you today from Isha via email. Isha says, "Dear Melissa, you have changed my life. By no means is that an exaggeration. Almost 2 years ago, I got a yoga mat for my birthday and didn't really do much with it until one day a Google search led me to your YouTube video, Yoga 101. That was in 2015, and in 2 years, that yoga mat and you have traveled with me to 4 different countries and the far corners of Bangladesh, where I live. I'm never without it because it's what grounds me. My body feels better, fitter, and my frame of mind has considerably improved. Your classes are what I look forward to every day, and your teachings are exactly what I need to hear before I start my day. Thank you and Tim for all you guys do to continue to teach, to change lives for better. Much love, Isha." So thank you so much to Isha, and thanks to all of you who take the time to leave your feedback on YouTube, on iTunes, on Facebook, on Instagram, and my website. And as always, the most in-depth conversations happen in our membership community. Thanks to Squeeze Yoga Clothing for my clothes today. I am wearing purple leggings, long leggings, a long sleeve black bamboo hoodie that's lined as well with purple stitching and the purple tree of life. Thanks to Dusky Leaf for our props. Today you are going to need a bolster and 2 blocks. And after we do the peace mantra, we will get set up with those props right away. So bring your hands to prayer position and we will go right into our peace mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvina Vadita Mastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that mantra means protect us together, student and teacher. May our studies nourish us together. May we practice together for the nourishment and the union of the good of all. May our learning be luminous and purposeful. May we live in harmony. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Okay, so today you're going to start with your bolster like this, and then you're going to place 2 blocks on the outsides of your knees. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. And wherever your knees open to, place the blocks underneath. so that you fill the space, or you could use cushions from your couch and lie back over your bolster. So let yourself be supported by the earth underneath you and by your props. Allow yourself to sink into the ground. Now become aware of your breath in your belly. So Ahimsa, the first yama or ethical observation in Patajnali's Yoga Sutras, is often translated as non-violence or non-harming. All day long we tend to act in subtle and not so subtle, aggressive ways against our experience. We are constantly in conflict within ourselves. We resist our lives from our emotional landscape to illness, to aging, and the events throughout the day. We fight against our lives. So reflect on how this relates to you and your life, and then begin to form an intention for what it is you would like to create, sustain, let go of, or rebirth in your life, and how can your yoga practice help you to do that? And then once you've formed your intention, you're going to draw up through your pelvic floor, draw your navel back to your spine, bring your knees together, carefully roll to your side. And you can put your props off to the side. And we're going to come into a wide knee child's pose. So bring your toes together, your knees wide, and fold forward. If this position bothers your knees and your ankles, you can always take knees to chest on your back. Walk your hands over to your right side. And rest here. At our deepest core, we are already tender and compassionate within ourselves, our families, our communities, and the world. Then walk over to the other side. And come back to center. Walk your hands back over to the left side. And then you're going to take your left shoulder and thread it underneath your right shoulder here, your right arm. Extend your right arm out long. The violence that shows up in our social, emotional, behavioral, cognitive, and moral lives is a reflection of our own inner conflict. And then slowly find a way out of this posture. Going to walk your hands over to the left. Take your right shoulder down to the ground. Rest your right ear on the ground. Extend your left arm out in front. And then come back to the center. Going to come into downward facing dog or tabletop position as a transition into pigeon pose. So take your right leg up and behind, and then bring your right knee forward. Extend your left leg back and long. And then you're going to fold forward over your bent right leg. If this position is too hard on your knees, you can always take eye of the needle on your back. So we tend to use excessive energy denying our feelings and pain, our pain of not being enough, and we close ourselves off from the truth of our experience. And then you can step back into downward facing dog or table position to transition to the other side. Take your left leg in the air and bring your left knee forward to your left wrist. Reach your right leg back and long. And then fold forward here. When we become aware of the aggression, we have a choice to open to our experience as it is, and settle into our bodies, staying connected with our hearts. And then you're going to step back into downward facing dog or table. So this would be table. You can do everything from table. And take your right leg up and back again. And then take your right leg to the space between your left wrist and your left ankle. Weave it through. And then you're going to lie down on your belly. This is not a simple task to let go of the aggression, the internal violence, the inherent harming that is part of our habitual experience. We must practice letting go of our own internal aggression, violence, and harming until it becomes our way of being. Then gather yourself up And we'll come into this pose, dying warrior or wounded warrior, on your other side. So either come back to down dog or table. Take your left leg up and behind. Thread it through between your right wrist and your right ankle. And then you're going to fold forward. So you're resting your chest on the ground. Turning your right hip towards your left inner thigh. When we practice letting go of our own internal aggression, we can experience inner peace, inner stillness, a settling into our bodies and a connectedness with our heart. Our inner landscape of peace will ripple out like a pebble in the pond, affecting the whole ocean of life, both internal and external. Okay, gather yourself up. Make your way up onto kneeling at the left side of your mat. And you're going to extend your right leg out to the side. Your hips are going to be level to the ground and level to the front of your mat. And then you're going to inhale, take your arms overhead and side bend over your right leg. Just don't rest your hand on your knee joint. Open up your left shoulder. So it's not willpower that will stop the aggression, the internal violence and self-harming. Willpower will only strengthen the patterns of self-judgment and aggression. Go ahead and come up and out of this pose. We'll come over to the right side of your mat and do the pose on the other side. And take your left leg out to the side. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And side bend to your left side, opening up your right shoulder. The aggression and internal violence and self-harming stops not by our own force or will or trying harder, but slowly over time, through our practices, like our yoga practice, we cultivate a new way of relating to ourselves and to our life. And then release this pose from your body. You're going to come and sit. You may want to elevate your hips a little bit, in which case you could fold up a blanket so that you can tip your pelvis forward more easily. And then notice where there's space. Fill the space either with your yoga blocks to protect your knee and SI joints or your pillow. And lengthen up through your spine. Roll your pelvis over your leg bones and fold forward here. As we practice yoga, we have an opportunity again and again to settle into our bodies, to open to our experience as it is, and to let go of the aggression and internal violence. We do this over and over and over again, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And gradually, ever so gradually, the internal hostility eases little by little. Slowly find your way out of this posture. You can draw your knees together and then put your blocks off to the side. And get your bolster for underneath your knees for Shavasana pose. And rest back in Shavasana with one hand on your belly and one hand in your heart center. You can stay here in Shavasana, and I'm going to sit up and read you a poem. This poem is called In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bristling and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go, to let it go. So reflect back on this class. What stands out to you? What seems most important? What's one small thing you're taking with you off your mat and into your life? And then gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Pause and slowly make your way up to a seated position. We're going to finish with a mudra for surrender. And the way that it works is that you lightly touch all the tips of your fingers together, your index, your middle, your ring finger, and your little fingers. And then your thumbs remain apart. And then you're going to hold this mudra in front of your chest. We often hold them in front of our chest, in front of your solar plexus. Relax your chest, relax your shoulders. Sink down through your sit bones. Allow your spine to be long. Lengthen up through the back of your head. Let your elbows sit underneath your shoulders. Let there be space between your teeth and allow your tongue to float in your mouth. And then turn your left palm up and your right palm down. We'll draw the fruits of our practice first into ourselves and offer them out into the world, making space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute to the happiness and freedom for all. If you liked today's show, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you liked about it in the comments. If you know somebody who would benefit from this class, then feel free to share it with them. I would like to thank Sonia, Diane, Donna, and David for your donations. Thank you for your continued and faithful support of our weekly show. We're grateful that for your generosity, because it allows us to share yoga with people just like you all around the world. And we are happy that we're delivering content that inspires you to donate in this way. And you can make a donation below. There's a link below here where you can make a monetary donation, or you can give of your time by leaving a comment below as well. And as I said, you can leave a comment. One of the things that I asked you at the end was to reflect on what stood out. And so why don't you could leave a comment about what the one small thing is that you're going to take off your mat and into your life. At the beginning of the class, I told you I was only going to give you part of the teachings on letting go of aggression today, because the feedback I've received from my online classes, my intention is to really keep these as minimalist as possible right now. And so I'm going to be giving the full teachings, the more rounded out and expanded version of these teachings, on Mondays in my live classes in our membership community at 9:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So for those of you who are members, you can just show up. There's lots of places in the membership community where it tells you where these are, or we'll link to it below as well. And if you're not a member, you can become a member here, and then that's how you can access the full teachings for these classes. It'll be this coming Monday, and if you can't come, then there's always recordings as well. So we'd love for you to become a member of our community, where we can support you with this kind of value-added content, also support from me, our community, and live classes. So I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be as rooted as the trees in our old growth forests, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.